Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. I've got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle with the 15 to the 20, breaks free to the 25 to the 30 to the outside. 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it toward Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this Hump Day edition. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well then, I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to the show's page. Go to Shawn and Maya in the morning as well. Like that page on Facebook. So not only will you be following Sports Zone Chicago, but you'll be following Shawn and Maya in the morning as well. Here are my damn landscapers. Again, it didn't. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. We're not around at all. And now they come out as soon as the show starts. I got the window open too, so Lord have mercy. Listen, if you watch this at our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell that's right next to it. All right, that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. You get it? You got it? Good. Now, if you're watching us, if you're listening to us, or watching us on our mobile app, I like that kind of party, baby. Yeah, and if you didn't know we had a mobile app, what? Come on. Listen, so wherever you get your apps from, you go there, and it doesn't matter where you get them from. So you can go whether it's iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Walmart, Kmart, 7-Eleven, Zayre, Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Ward, Woolworth, Venture, Weebles, Gold Blast, wherever you get them from. You go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it. You take us with you on a go, so not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, and not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew, and I mean a slew of articles. Thanks to my man Clarence Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. Now, if you're watching this on a Roku channel, yeah, baby, you know I like that kind of party. If you didn't know, Roku, Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel. Come on, keep up with the Joneses in them. Come on now, you know that. So here's what I need you to do. If you have a Roku television in the house, download Sports Zone Chicago's tile right to your TV. Okay, if you have a Roku TV in the house, download it. Put it next to Netflix, Apple Plus, Prime, HBO Max, Disney Plus, Hulu, Stars. Man, Stars made us wait till this week for the season finale of BMF. I'm a little annoyed with that, but I digress. Paramount Plus, put us right there. Put us right next to it, and put it right next to the WNBA channel. Yeah, they have their own channel too. Yeah. What did I tell you? I told you I was going to download. Let me show you. I told you I was going to download. Woo. Yeah, I got it ready to watch the Sky game last night. I told you. Don't talk about it, be about it. I told you on Monday. So by the time I come on air next Monday, I will have downloaded the league pass, the WNBA league pass. Cost me $34.99, was taxed $37. All right, $37. All All right, and then they have it on Roku. They have a Roku channel. So, man, I downloaded that. So I watched the game on the big screen yesterday. Support these ladies. Let's do it. Let's do it. $37 for 1 year. So next year, preseason, I'll have to re-up. Anyway, I digress. Now, you can also tweet the show. You can tweet us at SportsZoneShy. That's CHI at SportsZoneShy. And now, if you want to follow me, just me, personally online. You want to know what I did? Well, let me tell you what I did. I didn't shave, that's for sure. But I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. If you want to follow my lovely co-host, Maya Akai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at the Sports Chica. If you want to follow her on Instagram because you're an IGer and you do it just for the gram, well, just follow her at Maya_Akai, the newly married Maya. Yes, she just got married over the weekend. MAYA_AKAI. We have a phenomenal show, but I need you to get interactive. Let's get it started, baby. To see whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, whether it's our mobile app, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen and we'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. And that's you, baby. So bring them all questions, comments, smart ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. Nobody. Like The Rock said, don't sing it, baby. Just bring it. Let's do it. Let's see who we got in the chat. Man, Levette Lee's up early this morning. That's what I'm talking about. Levette Lee, good morning, Mama. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. My man, Armando Emeterio Lara Jr. Junior's in the house. I like it. How you feeling, Papa? Thank you for tuning in. My man's in them. My man, Cornelius Squalls, what up? To all my sports owners in the house. I like it. I like it a lot. Yes. They're at the north side, so we'll forgive them for that. But they're at the Sky game yesterday. I like it. Another fabulous hump day. My man, Michonne Walls in the Mickey Ficky house. How you doing, Papa? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Mr. Shode is in the house. Come on, Shode. How you doing? AC Adams, Mickey Ficky house. That's what I'm talking about, AC. Thank you, Papa, for tuning in. I appreciate it very much. Listen, I don't know a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will chime in as the show goes on. Man, we're gonna get it started. Cue up MC Hammer. Let's get it started. Oh, let's get it. All right, some of you might not be familiar with that. It means I can't rock with you too much, but that's all right. We get started at the bottom of the hour, 9:30. My man Ron Luce from the On Tap Sports Net. He's gonna join me, talking a little hockey. Good news for the Blackhawks yesterday. A couple of different fronts. We'll talk about those in the top of the morning segment, but also we're going to talk about them with Ron Luce at 9:30. At 10 o'clock, my man Lester Will Funk Jr., he's in the house. He's going to join me at 10 o'clock. We're going to talk a little Bears, get his expectations, his outlook, and get you some good quality Bears content today. So, man, we're getting started early, so you know what it means. We got to move, stomp your feet, move. Never mind. You guys don't know about that house stuff. Never mind. Anyway, let's get it started, baby. Guys, you know how we do. The first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Yeah. Oh, snap. Hold on. Before we even get at it, my man Jay Grizz in the Mickey Ficky house. Good morning, Papa. How are you? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. I appreciate you, sir. And everybody's, man. Me and you're going to fight over this, Jay Grizz. I'm telling you. me and you're going to fight over it. But hey, you got some allies. You got Junior in the chat. You got Levette Lee in the chat. You got a couple people in the chat who are of that ilk, all right? Cut from that cloth. Anyway, let's check it out, baby. The first top of the morning topic is say, which way do we go? Which way do we go? Which way do we go? All right. My boys. White Sox yesterday down in Tampa. Fall to the Tampa Rays, 5-1. Soroka was on a bump. He got the loss. Whew. He's 0-4 on the season. He went 5 innings, 3 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned. 4 walks, 4 punch-outs. Paul DeYoung was 2 for 3, hitting his 4th homer of the year, driving in his 8th RBI of the season. Corey Lee, young catcher, continues to eat. He was 2 for 4 on the day. Moving on, staying the same, though. The White Sox take on the Rays again tonight. Chris Flexen's on a bump for the good guys. He's 1-3 with a 4.85 ERA. He's going up against Aaron Civale, who's 2-2 with a 6.41 ERA. First pitch is at 5:50 Central. You can catch that game on NBC Sports Chicago or listen to it on their flagship station, AM 1000. The White Sox are on a record pace, and it is embarrassing. They are on a record pace to have the most losses ever in the history of Major League Baseball. Hopefully they can turn it around. Need a couple more sweeps. But I digress. Next top of the morning topic, man. The Cubs walked it off yesterday, beat the San Diego Padres 3-2. The return of Bellinger, Cody Bellinger. Yes, baby. Yes. Well, Imanaga was on a bump. He got a no decision, although he went 7 innings, 2 earned, a walk, 8 punch-outs. As I said, Bellinger made his return. Not 100%, he said, but he came back. You got to love the fight in that young man, or in that man, I should say. He was 3 for 4 with a homer, his 6th of the season. Welcome back, Belly, with his 6th homer, driving in his 18th run of the season. Chris Morel drove in his 24th run of the season. And Michael Busch, 2 for 4. Walked it off. First pitch of the ninth. First pitch that he saw. First pitch of the ninth. Takes it out for his 7th homer of the season. Driving in his 19th run of the year. Cubs played well. I want to talk shit, but I can't because I just can't. I can't. Anyway, keeping up today, the Cubs host the Padres again today at the friendly confines. Dylan Cease is on the mound. He's 4-2 with a 2.55 ERA. He's going up against Hayden Wesneski, who's 2-0 with a 0.54 ERA. First pitch is at 1:20 p.m. You can catch that game on the Marquee Network or listen to it on their flagship station, 670 a.m. You know, Dylan Cease talked a little bit about last year. An article today's Sun Times, Dale Van Schouwen. Okay. From the Chicago Sun Times. He talks about it. Dylan Cease says it wasn't enjoyable in any way. He quote, he said, last year wasn't enjoyable, really, in any way. I just didn't perform well. All right. We had a good chance to compete, and we just didn't put it together. We had a really bad year. It led to the need to kind of redo everything. Yeah. But now he's in a good spot with the Padres. He's got a nice little squad with him. Yeah. I like Dylan's one of my favorite players. I loved watching him grow up. Thank you to Northsiders. You know, it was Don't start. I want to hear it, Jay Grizz. Don't start. It was rough for them. It was rough for Dylan, man, especially the year before when he was second in Cy Young voting. Things were going well. He's anticipating them contending. That was the thing. They're to contend. All right. There's Lewis Robert ready to take the next step and become a full-fledged superstar. Hopefully, you had Eloy Jimenez and Yohan Moncada ready to break through and be consistent. You had Tim Anderson. You know, you had Lucas Giolito. You had Lance Lynn. You had Liam Hendricks in the back end. Man. Told you, don't blaspheme on here, boy. Jay Grizz, don't be blaspheming on here. It should be walk it off. Now walk it off. Now walk it off. It just went to shit. It went to hell. That's all it did, man. It was, and you can imagine a competitor like that. It's got to be frustrating when you're not just your team's doing poorly, but so are you. And he lived up. He set a bar for himself the year prior when he came in second in the Cy Young Award and didn't live up to it last year, and he was frustrated. So it was definitely frustrating. Yeah, we could do this, Jay Grizz. Southside, Northside, walk it out. Southside walk. Okay, we could do that. I could roll with you. Plank in the house. Good morning, Papa. Thank you for checking in today. I appreciate you. Shorty, you better watch your mouth. You better what? Don't you blaspheme on here. Don't you do it. Oh, you think you're funny. Oh, you think you're funny? Well, you don't know me, money. It's about to get ugly. Watch, dog. I'm hungry. Keep it up. Keep it up, you sons of biscuits. Keep it up, you sons of biscuits. We got to keep moving, though. We got to keep moving because we got to go at 9:30. The next top of the morning topic, the sky. Excuse me, will I kiss the sky? This was dope. The sky with a huge, impressive, I say extremely impressive, 101 53 blowout win over the New York Liberty. Marina Mabry led the way with 20 points. Dana Evans, I'm liking her. Jason talked about her a lot last year. She came back to the team last year. And I wasn't familiar with Dana Evans. And watching her yesterday, I like her a lot. And Jason had mentioned it. He talked about her quickness, her ability to be a pest on defense, and her ability to create her own shot. And yesterday I really paid attention for the first time in a while to Dana Evans. And man, I really like her game. She had 19 points, 5 boards, 7 dimes. And then Chi-Town Barbie, yes, baby. Chi-Town Barbie Angel Reese, 13 points, 5 rebounds. And what I thought was really cool, really cool was at the Sky game yesterday, you had some of the newest Chicago Bears. You see in the screen Keenan Allen, Caleb Williams in the middle, and Rome Odunze on the right. Now, let's not forget, Angel and Caleb, they're from the DMV area. She's from Baltimore, he's from D.C. She's Baltimore, Maryland, he's from Washington, D.C. So they're from the DMV area, so they're familiar with each other, especially nowadays. You got to understand, nowadays it's so different. People in the same part of the region, athletes with social media and things like that, you tend to stay connected with people in your area. So she talked about it. I believe it was channel NBC Sports. She talked about, someone asked her if her and Caleb hung out. She's like, oh yeah, Caleb's my guy. We're both from the DMV area, and she's excited. Like, she said exactly what we're saying, what we see. She's like, there's a lot of young, new talent around. There's a lot of young talent. Me, I'm here. Caleb's here. And she's like, I hope that, the Bulls get some more guys. And, she was just saying, basically, the young guns, what I'm saying. Basically is what she's saying. So she loves it. I love it too. So she's coming in at 22. Caleb's around the same, 22-ish. Hell, Kobe White from the Bulls is only 24. So, you talk about all guys, all athletes in that age group. Remember I told you the other day, on Monday, I said, I hope they form like the Brat Pack. All right? Remember that back in the 80s? For those of us who were alive in the 80s? Rob Lowe, Demi Moore, Anthony Michael Hall, Robert Downey Jr. Remember that whole, they had like a few movies together. They tried to, but yeah, so I think it's a great thing. I think it's a great thing that young Chicago athletes are hanging out together. I just think it's a cool thing. I do. Because you know what? That means when you see one, you might see see 2 or 3. Like Caleb, but here's the funny part. Is Caleb Williams is going to be shorter than Angel Reese. I just think that's funny. Caleb Williams is going to be shorter than Angel Reese. So if they go out, God forbid she's wearing heels. But I mean, she'll probably wear maybe a little heel, a little, not actual heels. So if they're ever out in a club, she's going to be like this tall. He's going to be like right here. Oh, man. Oh, we got to let's keep it moving. You know what? Here's a good thing. Keeping with the WNBA. You know what? The WNBA, here's the dope thing. Our WNBA commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, said yesterday that the WNBA will begin to use charter flights full time now. Okay, it's a move that addresses player safety issues and logistical issues. If you remember last year, I forgot what game it was. I don't know if it was a playoff game or not, where they were stuck in the airport. Some girls drove back home while the other girls waited in the airport for like 10 hours, 12 hours, something like that. I just thought it's about time. Again, here's the Caitlin Clark effect. How? Well, you got a lot more people pumping money into the WNBA. All right. It says, and Engelbert, the commissioner, said they're going to commit about 50. And this is in an article. All right. By ESPN. They're going to commit about $50 million over the next 2 years. All right. So full-time charter services for the teams during the season. All right. So it'll be about $25 million per year. And it just bypasses, security, bodyguards. It just bypasses that whole thing. And they're professional athletes. Treat them like that. All right. And so here's what the WNBA Players Association president, Nika Ogwumike, said. She said chartering flights is not only a safety measure, the biggest thing, and then obviously what it means to be able to play a game and go home and rest and recover and be the elite athletes that we try to be every single night when we step out onto this court. It's a great day for our league as a whole that we were able to get here, and we're going to continue to grow and continue to build and continue to push for even more. So just congratulations for them. You know what? I'm really happy. And like I said, I told you guys, I bought the WNBA League Pass yesterday so I can watch the Sky game. So it's on my phone. I doubt they have a Roku channel, so I downloaded that to my TV so I can watch them on the big screen, so I can watch them anywhere I go. $37. Can't complain. Cannot complain at all. Let's see. Man, whoo! The Blackhawks. We'll get the second overall pick this year in the NHL draft. Boy, are we lucky. We got the number 1 overall pick last year, which turned into the generational talent that is Connor Bedard. If you think about it, it's interesting because everyone wants to use the word generational. Okay, everything's generational. Everyone's generational. Okay, they're not. All right, we have to really stop doing that. We have to stop. But here's the thing about hockey. Remember I told you hockey people don't throw that word around? All right, they threw it around with Connor Bedard. They threw it around with Austin Matthews back in like 2017, 2018, somewhere in there. They threw it around. They threw that word with Conor McGregor back in like 2014, 2015. They don't just throw that word around. Every so often there comes a player in the NHL that is, on that generational level, a star, superstar. And this year's number 1 overall pick by the San Jose Sharks, they got the number 1 pick. The presumptive number 1 pick is Macklin Celebrini. Okay. But nowhere once have I seen in anything where they call him generational. Just because he's a presumptive number 1 overall pick and he's presumed to be that and more by more than one person, they're not tossing the word generational around. Macklin Celebrini is not generational. He's a great player. He's not generational. And that is what, and I appreciate that. The hyperbole is not necessary. But the Blackhawks will pick. They will pick second. And you know what? They got to be happy as pigs in slop. All right. The 2024 NHL draft will take place in Vegas, baby. Vegas at the Sphere. It's going to take place in Vegas on June 28th and June 29th. So it's going to be pretty dope out in Vegas. Two more things before we get out, before we got to go to break, because our man Ron Luce is going to join us to continue talking Blackhawks with me. Lukas Reichel inks a 2-year deal at $1.2 million a year. So he's booked through 25-26 season. So $1.2 million per year. You get these young guns under contract, and let's do it. I like it. And the last top of the morning topic, the NFL is set to release its schedule on May 15th. This is per sources. Now, the NFL, they think they run shit. Well, they do. So they could wait if they want. They could do it the 16th or 17th. Let me see. What day does that fall on? Got to check. Today. A week from today. So a week from today, they're supposed to drop it. Drop it like it's hot. I hope so. So I'm planning to go to San Francisco. My buddy's been on me for the last 2 years. When are you coming to visit me? When are you coming to visit me? I texted him yesterday. I'm like, hey, bro. I said, just so you know, the schedule is, the NFL schedule is allegedly going to be dropped on the 15th. When they do, and I find out when they're playing the Niners, because we know they're playing San Francisco at San Francisco. We just don't know when. I said, when they do, I'll get my ticket and I'll let you know. He's like, good. So I'm excited. A whole bunch of people are excited. There's a lot of different places Bears fans are going to travel to. Bears takeover is real. Man, Bears fans travel in droves, and I like it a lot. I love it, as a matter of fact. I can't wait to London. Bear fans are going to go nuts across the pond. You don't think they're going to be nutso in Indy? It's right down 65. It's right down 65. Tons of people got people in Indy or right around Indy. So, yeah, it's going to be a good time. Arizona, I believe they're going to. Frisco, they're going to. They're going to Houston? Yes, they're going to Houston as well. H-Town. So it's going to be a good time. Chicago Bears takeover. But let's take a quick break. And on the other side of the break, we're going to welcome our guy Ron Luce from the On Tap Sportsnet. Talk a little hockey. I'm excited about Lukas Reichel getting signed. I'm excited about the number 2 pick and who we're going to get. Yeah, that would have been dope if we had the number 1 pick again. But I don't want to get greedy. Part of me wants to be greedy. But hey, the 2nd overall pick, it's not somehow I think we're going to get a good player. Something tells me. No, I'm not a betting man, but I think we're going to get a good player. So listen, sit back, relax, take it easy, go to the bathroom, get some water, get some tea, get a drink. I don't care. Hey, some people start early. I don't know. It's 5:00 somewhere. We'll be back, and Ron Luce is going to join us on the other side. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Brian Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face. Ugly.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
Drilled right field. That one way back. That one is gone. A line drive home or a belly bomb. Welcome back. And it is 1-0.
Welcome back to the lineup, Cody Bellinger.
Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Shota Imanaga, 6 shutout innings. He has struck out 8. Swing and a little flare out into shallow right field. Oh! Nico Horner!
Here's the pitch. A swing and a drive. Deep right center. It's got a chance. Cubs win the ball game. Michael Busch, a game-winning home run. Listen to this crowd.
Michael Busch wins it on the first pitch. Cubs win.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of the Marquee Network. Get that off there, Steve-O. Get that nonsense off. Those are the Cubbies yesterday with a walk-off win. Belly with a welcome back belly bomb. I told you I like him a lot. Big fan of Cody Bellinger. I thought he was perfect for that organization. Perfect attitude, perfect mentality. Obviously the production would fit anywhere, but just his whole demeanor. But that was him yesterday, walking it off, and Wrigley had to be rocking. Whew. Anyway, we don't care about that over there. Our first guest with the On Tap Sports Net, and he does double duty, triple duty, quadruple duty. Four Feathers Podcast, Cubs on Tap, Bears on tap, Sox on tap, Hawks on tap, Sky on tap. You think he does everything on tap. Man, you can find him on Twitter at Loose. That's Luce. That's Loose on tap, guys. Welcome back to Shawn and Maya. Our guy, Ron Loose. Ron, what's up, Papa? Good morning.
Good morning. Fun fact, Shawn. I'm glad that you guys played those clips and let me relive that. I was actually at the ballpark last night.
I saw that later. I saw it. Yeah. I'm like, oh shit! I texted me at the game.
Yeah, it was. I think I was answering your text in like the 5th or 6th inning. It was just like, oh yeah, totally. And things were going great, and then things went bad, and then things went fantastic. So I appreciate that. That was better than the morning coffee I've got. So I appreciate those clips again.
Good, man. Yeah, well, Cub fans are happy, man. You know what? They're in a good spot. They're in a really good spot. Belly's back. They were able to hold the fort down, so he came back. You're starting pitching. I know we're talking Hawks, but still, your starting pitching is what the hell, dude? Did anyone think that they were going to be this good?
Cubs fans did. Every Cubs fan will tell you that we liked their rotation coming into the year, and I mean, it really has been a best case scenario, though. Like so many guys have developed. I think that was the biggest key, right? We saw it with the last, the Theo-led regime was, oh, well, this Cubs team can't, they can't do this, they can't do that. Like they can't develop starting pitching. They had to go buy it. This time around, like their development at the major league level for a lot of these guys is the biggest difference. Guys, George Wicks got better. Javier Assad just continues to rake. Imanaga's been phenomenal. And, you got a lot of really good contributions from guys like Hayden Wesneski and Ben Brown, too, while you've had some of these starters out. So it's good stuff. Jameson Taillon looks like Jameson Taillon this year. It's a weird curse with the Cubs. It's like the second year of a big signing of any guy that's apparently not from the NPB, because Shota is the outlier here.
Oh, my God.
They always have a slow first year. But, Jameson Taillon's back, and the Cubbies are rolling, man. It's a good time to be a Cubs fan. I won't lie to you here, Shawn.
All right, well, let's stop talking about that nonsense and let's talk about this. He brought you on. Enough of that stuff. The Blackhawks. Mm-hmm. The Blackhawks are in a good spot. They did not get the number 1 overall pick in the draft like they did last year. However, sad. they did get the number 2 pick overall. So you know what? When you're building a franchise, you want top-notch players, and the ability to get top 10 players is awesome. Top 5 players is even better. Top 2 players, Lord have mercy. Now you're cooking with gas. Talk to me when you found out yesterday when they were going to they got the 2nd overall pick. How did that make you feel? Because I know you cover them in the Four Feathers podcast.
Yeah, I was so ironically, we watched it live and in time at good old Murphy's Bleachers before the game, since it was an early drawing, a 5:30 drawing at Central Time. It really was kind of a full countdown, because as they had said, and as the math goes, the worst they could have done was 4th. And that was my biggest concern, honestly, coming into the lottery, was that they were going to fall all the way to 4 and 2 other teams were going to hop the lottery. And so it was relieving seeing the order go the way it should have, all the way till, 5. And then it was like, okay, they're probably good here. Maybe they fall back to 3, but you're still getting a top pick. So when they got announced as one of the 2 lottery teams, it was like, okay, cool. At least they've got a shot here. I, like you, sir, wanted the number 1 pick very desperately. I yelled in my lack of satisfaction, and my sunglasses went flying, and thankfully my girlfriend caught them, because I was a little upset. But hey, you know what? Like you said, Shawn, if you look at most NHL drafts in recent memory, if you have a top 2 pick, you probably have a legitimate NHL player on your hands, and that is just about the only thing that the Hawks could ask for coming into this situation. And again, I think a lot of people forget they have the 20th overall pick as well from Tampa Bay. So 2 first-rounders in this year's draft is certainly a way to continue adding to that cupboard of assets of youth that Kyle Davidson has done so far.
And that's what you need. All right, you need an influx of youth, and I think that's what the Hawks have gotten, obviously, last year with Connor Bedard. But you see it a lot now, especially with a lot of our Chicago teams. I know Kobe White's not a rookie, but he came out as after freshman year. Kid's only 24. The kid's only 24. He's not even hitting he's about to hit his prime. All right. The Bears drafted Caleb Williams. He's 22. They just drafted Roma Dunze. He's 22. They just drafted the Sky. Just drafted Candace Parker, Angel Reese, and Camila Cardozo, and they're just 22. So we're talking about a lot of young stars, a lot of young stars here in the city, and I think that's a pretty cool deal when you're trying to rebuild a franchise, and we have a lot of rebuilding to do because we were spoiled for a while. We were spoiled for a long time. I got a good 12 to 13-year period. We were spoiled, and to get it close to that level again, you got to get young studs, and we did. And I think I'm excited for it. Who do you think they're going to take with that number 2 overall pick? Because the Celebrini is the presumptive number one overall pick. They've already mocked him up in the San Jose Sharks jerseys. Are you with Dimitrov, or who are you thinking for the number 2?
Shawn, it's funny because last year we were spoiled in the sense of Blackhawks.
Or Dimitrov.
Demidov, I believe is how you say it. Yeah. We were spoiled last year because we all knew who was going number 1. So from a Four Feather standpoint, we didn't do any scouting. It was just watching Connor Bedard highlights for 2 months until he was actually officially a Chicago Blackhawk. And you were mentioning all the young stars in the city. Let's not forget Bedard's only going to be 19 this summer. So
can't even buy a drink.
Yeah, he's still a baby. Hey, he can buy a drink up at the city of Toronto, though. Legal drinking age is 19 up there. So, but no, I'll be honest with you. I have no idea where they're going with this pick. And it's kind of fun for me because, I know my great co-host over at Four Feathers, Tony Marchese, he was texting me last night. He's like, how was the game? I was like, great. I was like, what did you do all night? He's like, watch Demidov highlights all night. I was like, oh, Jesus. I was like, you're already doing it. And I'll tell you what, I really don't know where they're going with this team because it really is just going to come down to how Kyle Davidson views the blue line. I think that's the biggest difference here because, yeah, it'd be nice to add a forward. Obviously, that's where they need probably more depth is at the forward position. But when looking at the top of this draft, I mean, there are a lot of really good defensemen at the top of this draft. Most notably, Lev Shanov. He's from Belarus. He played at Michigan State this year. I got his numbers right here for you. 35 points in 38 games at Michigan State this year. I mean,
point a game, kid.
There's some really good defensive talent at the top of this draft, and so it's really just going to come down to how they value the players. Demidov, I think, from a physical standpoint, might not be the type of player that Davidson likes. He's about $168 soaking wet, and he's only about 5'11", so he's small. If this was the Stan Bowman era, he would be all over Demidov because he loved small, fast players. But Kyle Davidson has shown he likes guys that have some size that play with that, kind of bulldog mentality up and down the ice. So it really is going to, in my opinion, it's going to come down to what Davidson thinks of this blue line and the future of the blue line. Obviously, the left side of the blue line is pretty wrapped up with guys like Vlasic getting his extension. Korchinski obviously already up. And I think a guy like Ethan Del Mastro makes the team next year.
Okay.
That right side has a lot of veterans. It's Murphy, it's Jones, and it's a very open spot. So if there's a right-handed defenseman at the top of this draft that they like, and Lev Shanov is right-handed, that's a direction they could go. But I know a lot of people like Demidov, and his highlights are real pretty. But I'll be honest with you, I don't know yet. I'll be doing some video watching myself of these guys in the coming months. I will say though, Shawn, I have a pretty good track record of predicting top 3 Blackhawks picks. The last time they were on the clock, everybody's like, who are they going with? They're taking the kid from, they're taking Cousins and they're taking this. And in hindsight, they probably should have taken Cousins. But I said they were going to take Kirby Dach, and they did. So we'll see. We'll see. But it really, again, all comes down to how Davidson views the blue line moving forward. And if he's comfortable with what's already there, then they'll probably go forward with the pick.
This is kind of exciting again. All right, picking up. I mean, hell, the Bears just got done with 1-9. All right, and then now we have number 2 and what'd you say, 19?
20.
2 and 20. This is really, really fun. Would you have rather gone with a defenseman at that top or someone at that level? You got to take an offensive. I mean, you have to take a forward. Would you have rather taken someone else, or take someone else, or are you good with a forward at that spot, number 2?
I think I'd be fine with a forward. I mean, it really just comes down to, I think the one thing that even fans have to keep in mind, because our boy Skokes here in the comments saying he's on the Demidov train. I really think just my thought to like everybody else that's a Blackhawks fan is keep in mind of how Davidson's built this team, because that's going to tell you a lot about how they're going to draft. You know, they like bigger forwards. They like guys that play with that high motor. Demidov is not that type of player. He's a flashy player. He's a hands player. You know, even the kid that they took in the second round last year, Kanserov over in Russia, even he's got a little more of that kind of up and down mentality on the ice. So it's keeping that in mind. I wouldn't hate if they go forward. There's a couple of guys at the top of this draft that are intriguing. Caden Lindstrom is a nice big forward. He's 6'4". He played in the WHL this year with the Medicine Hat Tigers. He would be a nice, potential addition as well. It just, again, it really, I am in the mindset of take the best player available because they have enough holes right now where they can afford to do that. And whoever they value as the second best player in this draft is ultimately who they're going to take. So I'd be happy if it's a forward. I'd be happy if it's a defenseman, as long as it's a guy that I would say in the next at least year is able to, contribute, kind of on a full-time basis at the NHL level.
Guys, we're joined by Ron Luce from the On Tap Sports Net, talking Chicago Blackhawks hockey here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. So you're saying it doesn't matter if it's a defenseman or a forward. Sticking with Demidov, you said he's 5'10", $160?
Yeah, $168 is what he's listed at.
Oh, okay, $170-ish. All right. What about if he adds 15 pounds? Because that's still not a big person, but but it's strong. But it's because if you add 15 pounds of muscles from 170 to 185, hell, even 190, and that's still not a big person, but that can be a very strong person. You think that? How do you think that the Blackhawks have developed their players as far as in the weight room? Because as we know, weightlifting, strength training is paramount in all sports: baseball,
100%.
football, basketball, hockey, soccer, track, golf. All right. How do you think that they've done so far to this point? Obviously we've seen Kane and Taves and all those guys get bigger and stronger, because Kane was like 105. I'm exaggerating for effect, of course. But he was as fast as lightning, but then he got stronger. Still fast as lightning, but not much stronger. How do you think their strength and development, strength and conditioning program is, and how will that help Demidov? If they do take him, would that kind of ease your apprehensions a little bit, just because he's going to get bigger, he's going to get stronger, and he's going to stay as fast?
Yeah, I think that certainly helps from a size perspective. The Blackhawks have shown they have probably one of the best strength and conditioning programs in the NHL. They do it routinely with guys that came in and people were like, we're not sure about him. He needs to get stronger. And they do. I mean, Patrick Kane is the perfect example of that. I think a lot with Demidov too is going to come down to attitude. And that's the one thing that, and again, this is admittedly an NHL hockey stereotype, and I don't like to stereotype, but Russian players are habitually known as guys that don't like to be the team first guys, and they don't like to be, they want to be the stars because that's how they're brought up in Russia, is like you should be a star player. If he's got the mindset that fits how Luke Richardson's going to coach the team, do it. He's a very skilled player. There's no denying his skill set. It's just, is he going to work in this environment? Because a guy that I think we're going to talk about here as well, and you talked a little bit about before I jumped on, Lucas Reichel, at times struggled with that system that Luke Richardson had in place a season ago. So it's something to very much keep in mind, because now it's an important time for the entire franchise. It's an important time now for Luke Richardson from an evaluation standpoint, because now you can say, okay, hey, buddy, we're going to give you a better team. We need to see better results. And they're going to want guys in there that are going to play the system the way it's meant to be played, because I think we've seen at times, especially in these first 2 years with Richardson as the head coach, when they play the system to their best of their ability, they can really surprise some people. Again, assuming they stay healthy. And of course, health was the number one enemy of this Blackhawks team this past season. I think that's another big factor as well. I absolutely, if they look at Demidov from a physical standpoint, they say, yeah, he can put on 15, 20 pounds of muscle by the time he's 20. Okay, great. I think that's fine. It's just making sure that he fits what they want to do, because Kyle Davidson's made it very clear that they take their guys and they are not afraid to pass on a player if they don't fit the kind of new culture, we'll call it. Yeah, that's being implemented in that Blackhawks locker room.
So I guess we're going to find out if he is their guy, because if he's there, I mean, because we said, Celebrini's going to be number one, so you have
100%.
everyone pretty much but Celebrini to choose from. So you're going to have your choice of guys, and we're going to find out if they, how they truly feel about him.
Could you imagine if the Sharks went Demidov at number one? What bedlam would occur in the city of Chicago? I know it's not going to happen. This is completely hypothetical, but the city of Chicago might explode.
Indulge us.
Yeah, the city of Chicago might explode. San Jose might explode too for the wrong reasons, but Chicago might explode if, God forbid, Celebrini got passed on at number one. But he's not going to. He's an incredible player. There's a reason that we were all upset the Hawks didn't get the number one pick in the draft because, again, maybe he's not Bedard-like per se in terms of the talent gap between kind of 1 and 2. But very few freshmen ever win the Hobie Baker Award. So that tells you a lot about how
tells
good
you a hell of a
Celebrini
lot.
was.
Yeah, for those of you, that's the best player in college hockey.
College hockey's Heisman. Yeah.
Yeah. So for a freshman to do that, it's unbelievable. There's a guy in here, Jay Grizz wants to know, what about the goaltending? What about the goaltending this year, coming up for this season? Who's in net? Any prospects? What do we have to look forward to?
Yeah, I mean, the goaltending, Peter Mrazek got his 2-year extension, so he's in the fold for the foreseeable future. Unfortunately, Soderblom is under contract next season. I don't know if that's going to persist beyond next year, but the Hawks right now are at kind of, in my opinion, a humongous impasse when it comes to goaltending. They effectively have to do one of two things. They have to find maybe an older veteran that's willing to take a 1 or 2 year deal on the market and say, hey, come in, kind of be the 1A starter with Peter Mrazek for a year or two until we can develop some of these guys, because I think Drew Comesso needs another year down in Rockford. We're not going to see Adam Guyon probably for at least 3 seasons. So their stock in goaltending is long-term. They're either going to need to do that, or they're going to really need to buy in and say, hey, we're going to go get X from some team. Personally, the guy I would love to see, and this is a guy that with old friend of mine, Puck and Hostile on the old X app, we were talking about was Jeremy Swayman for the Bruins. They have a very interesting goaltending situation. Linus Ullmark has 1 more year next year at, I believe it's $5 million. Swayman is a restricted free agent after making, I believe, 3.4 this year. He's due a humongous raise. If I'm Kyle Davidson, I'm calling the Bruins and I'm saying, hey, if we give you number 20, can we have Swayman? And if they say yes,
he's worth the 20th. He's worth the first round of 20th, huh?
Absolutely. He's only 25. I think a lot of people don't realize how young Jeremy Swayman is. He's only 25 years old. So he's the type of goaltender you could bring in and pay $5 million, $5, $6, $7 million a year to for 5 or 6 years. And your goaltending is set until a Drew Comesso maybe comes along and can kind of be that 1A. It's an intriguing idea. I don't think it's going to happen because, as Gate said on Twitter as well, he thinks they're going to move on from Ullmark and then keep Swayman, and I tend to agree because Ullmark's 31. But,
yeah.
I mean, maybe Ullmark's the guy if you're the Blackhawks too. You go to Boston and say, hey, we know you're in cap trouble, and we know you need to re-sign Jeremy Swayman. We'll take the 1 year of Linus Ullmark and a late-round draft pick for a no-name prospect that we don't believe in anymore. Maybe that, hey, Kyle Davidson still got the cap space to weaponize it. And if he can do something like that, that might be the move. But that's a fair.
And that'll buy him time. That's a year of
Absolutely.
incubation period for whatever goalie you have ready. That you're waiting for. And I think, and that's smart. Like, you don't want to get a goalie who's 27, 28. All right, when these guys are in the beginning, in the first year, like, you know what I mean? Because they have 2 or 3 years to get to develop. And is he going to be at his peak, or is he going to be on the downside of his peak?
Yeah.
So if you're going to get a goaltender, you want to get someone who's, maybe hitting their peak just before the skill players hit their peak.
Yeah.
Right? So when you go in, and when they do, this guy's already he's at the top of his game, and now you're really cooking with gas.
Well, I'll say it's a very interesting trend that we've seen over the last couple of years. And I forget who I was talking to about this, but they were incredibly on point about it. Goaltending in the NHL nowadays is very much like bullpen pitching in the major leagues. It's very volatile year in and year out, right? Guys will, and it might be, guys that are journeymen. I think of a name like Cam Talbot, for example, right? He goes to a couple different teams, is terrible for 2 or 3 years, then all of a sudden he ends up in the right situation and he's an all-star quality goaltender. It happens a lot. There's very few true elite goal. Again, we were spoiled for how many years of Corey Crawford in Chicago.
Yeah.
It's hard to find that elite goalie. Look at, and this is not a shot at the guy, but look at Robin Leonard. We were all sold that Robin Leonard was the future. The Hawks trade him to Vegas, and he's not even in the league anymore. So it's a volatile position, and that's why I think truly, I think they will add somebody this offseason somehow, some way. I don't think they're going to just leave it to Mrazek and Soderblom again, because they know they need to start to produce results. Otherwise, the Wirtz family will not be happy. But I think a lot of their stock right now is in Comesso probably a year from now, and then Guyon in probably 2 to 3 years from now.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to it big time. As they develop, a lot of young prospects, a lot of the rebuild is happening for a lot of our teams, and it's exciting, man. Like I said, I remember I went to Connor Bedard's first game. It was a preseason game here this past season, and like 30 seconds in, whoa, I'm down the wrong pipe.
You sound like me last night after the walk off.
We don't want to go there. Like 30 seconds in. 30 seconds in, he toe drags and fires a wrister on net. It didn't go in, but I was like, "Oh, me!" I was with my guy Jason. And I looked at him like, "Holy shit!" Like that was like a grown man shot, and no reservation, no hesitation, no apprehension. He was like, "No." I was like, and there was, like I said, 20, 30 seconds in, and I was like, "Holy cow!" So having people like him, and obviously, Angel Reese and Caleb and Rome and all those guys, it's really Chicago sports is definitely on an upswing, except for my White Sox. But it's definitely on an upswing, and
never too late, Shawn. It's never too late to come to the dark side.
Oh no, never. You and Lavette Lee in the chat. She's always just come to the north side. I'm like, no.
Hey, I respect it. I grew up in the South Burbs, so most of my friends are White Sox fans. I feel for it, man. It's tough when you get promised so many things by a front office and there's a slimmer of hope and they get it wrong, and then you don't know if they're ever going to get it right. Yeah,
it's wrong again.
It's rough. It's rough. So
hey, great stuff, buddy. I appreciate it. Do me a favor before you go. Let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
Absolutely. You can find me over at Loose on Tap on the socials. You can also find us at On Tap Sportsnet at Four Feathers Pod, specifically if you want to hear Blackhawks talk. I've earned the nickname of GM Ron during the offseason over there. So there will be plenty of these type of discussions and some deep works coming up. I've literally got a list of players that I need to watch some film on. So be sure to catch all that over here. And as always, Shawn, it's great to join you and chat with you.
Great stuff, buddy. I appreciate it. We'll be in touch soon.
Absolutely. You guys have a good one. Take care.
All right. Guys, that's Ron Luce from the On Tap Sportsnet talking hockey with me. Fired up, man. Blackhawks, I'm telling you, if you've never been to a Blackhawks game, let me strongly suggest you get there. All right. Just if for no other reason, go watch Connor Bedard. Go watch Connor Bedard. If that's the only reason you go, is just to watch number 98. You will not be disappointed. I don't give a damn how much your ticket is. I don't care. He's exciting. And I didn't get to ask him about the generational thing. Shish kebab. All right. But anyway, go. Get there. I'm telling you, Connor Bedard, even if you just wanted to go to a preseason game like I did last year or this past season with Jason, kid is something special. The kid is something special. And when you see great players, like them or not, it don't matter if you like them, you hate them, you want them on an opposing team and you wish they would die, and I get it. But when you watch greatness, you see it. You see it and you feel it. And this kid is worth the price of admission. Listen, we're going to take a break. On the other side of the break, we're going to welcome my man, Lester Will Fong Jr. Yeah, baby. We're going to talk a little Bears, so don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Yeah, hello. I'm really not sure if this is what you all do, but I really don't have anywhere else to turn.
Hi. I don't even know why I'm calling right now. I'm sorry. My thoughts are going a mile a minute.
My kids are out of state. My buddies from the army are all gone now. I'm really alone.
I left the service last year. My mom just passed away a few months ago. I miss so much time with her. I keep getting calls about the bills, and I'm trying to get a job, but I feel so stuck.
Okay, ma'am. I'm glad you called.
Okay, sir. Let's stay on the line and walk through some things.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
We are looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators. A passion to change lives, spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds. Help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
Every day we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
Mental health and learning disorders don't discriminate. 17 million children and adolescents in the United States live with disorders like anxiety, depression, ADHD, and dyslexia. Less than half get the help they need to thrive. Help the Child Mind Institute change these children's lives. Visit childmind.org.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. That was the Bears wide receiver 1C. Do we call him 1C, Lester? I don't know. Rome Odunze had his days at the University of Washington, and I'm excited. I'm excited about this kid. We kind of got three generations of receivers. We got the old man and Keenan Allen. It was like 32, 33. I think it'll be 33. Definitely on the backside of his career, although he still had 1,200 yards last year. We got a guy smack dab in the middle of his prime, coming off the best season statistically in DJ Moore with over 1,300 yards. And we got a young stud. You talk about layers and leveling. We have three great receivers at different stages. I'm going to talk to my next guest about it. That's where we're going to start off. And guys, you've seen him before, man. We've been together. He's been rocking with us for like 6-7 years, and I appreciate it. Love every time he comes on because he and I can talk Bears for hours. You can find him on Twitter at Wiltfong Jr. That's Wiltfong Jr. Wiltfong Jr. He's over at Windy City Gridiron, and he's our guy, Lester Wiltfong Jr. Lester, what's up, Papa? Good morning.
What's going on, Shawn? How you doing today?
You know what? I am doing well. I didn't go to CrossFit today. I decided to sleep in. I went to bed at 11 o'clock and got up at 7. I'm like, this is what 8 hours of sleep feels like.
That's good, man. I haven't had 8 hours in a long time. It's a bit it's strange for me. So yeah, but that's good, man. Good job.
It's been a long time for me. My body didn't know what the hell to do. I'm like, why am I so awake? Why am I didn't do a bump. I didn't do cocaine or coffee, nothing. I'm just all wired. But I guess that's what happens when you get 8 hours of sleep. Oh wow. Who'd have thunk it? Does anyone else know about that?
No idea. I heard something about it.
Well, as you saw yesterday, in those clips coming out of the break, Roma Dunze is that dude. But as I was talking about before you came on, I like the levels, the layers. Yeah. You got a vet, on the backside of his career, still 1,200 yards in Keenan Allen, a guy in the middle of his prime in DJ, and a young stud who should be there when DJ's ready to hang it up or leave in the next, hopefully 5 years. Talk to me about that wide receiver. And I'm not even talking about Scott or anyone else. Just talking about those three and how excited you are with those three in the lineup.
I mean, on paper, it has potential to be the best trio the Bears have ever had. I mean, this is a new era of offensive football that a lot of Bears fans just aren't quite understanding what's going to happen here because we've never seen it. I mean, yeah, we had a brief moment in the Mark Trestman era when he threw the ball a lot, but that's what the league has become. The league is a passing league. It's been that way for decades. It just seems like there's still a lot of fans in the mentality of run the ball, play some good defense, and that's just not how the NFL wants you to play. I mean, they've changed the rules to make sure it benefits the passing game, and that's what the Bears have. Now they have 3 outstanding receivers. They have a couple good tight ends. They have some good tailbacks out of the backfield. They have a rookie quarterback they feel is the guy to lead this team into the future. It's an exciting time to be a Bears fan. I know there's some fans still trying to resist it, but man, this is an exciting time to be a Bears fan.
It is. And the thing about it is like resisting, what was that? Resistance is futile.
Yeah.
I forgot.
It's here, man. The bear claw is everywhere now. It's ridiculous.
Oh. He stole it from Don Walkman. He stole it from him, but that's all right.
Well, I'm not gonna say. Look, he didn't steal it. I'm glad you brought it up real quick because I want to talk real quick about this. So, his first immersion into Bears culture was at the draft. Really.
Yep.
He's down there taking a selfie
with Don,
and there's Bear Man, right? So Caleb's thinking, oh shit, this must be what Bears fans do.
This is a Bears thing, yeah.
It's a Bears thing. So he adopted it. You know what I mean? And there are some, again, we're talking about the resistance. Some Bears fans are salty. How dare Caleb steal the move from the Bear Man? That's just what he thinks. He thinks that's what you do. So he's doing it. And it's Bears fans have kind of fallen in love with it now. That's the thing, man. I mean, it's kudos to him. But again, kudos to Don Walker. He's the guy that kind of get it going. He's the Bear Man. I think it's cool, man. Bears are cool, man. It's cool to be a Bears fan again.
It really is, and they haven't even played a game yet or down,
right.
And that's really, really fun. And the one thing that we talk about is like, and people, it's funny how trolls come at me and like, you're a Justin fan, just keep the same energy. I'm like, first of all, I was like, I don't know who the hell you think you are telling me who I can and can't root for. That's for starters.
Yeah.
Okay, that's for starters. I said, but secondly, it was never about Caleb not having talent. Duh. No one ever said that Caleb doesn't have talent. Never said. I just said that I felt, I still do feel Justin would be the better guy, but they didn't. So I can't sit there and say, well, Justin this, Justin that. Well, it's pointless. That's like being in a rocking chair. You're doing something, but you ain't doing nothing.
It's like if you change your way of thinking, fans get mad at you. If you stay on a hard line, fans get mad at you. It's like, things change, as sports analysts, the game changes, the game evolves, teams change, players come and go. We talk about what's in front of us. I mean, yeah, it's nice to talk about the past and history, but it doesn't. There's no point in it. You know what I mean? Let's move on.
yeah. So, you know, for me, like I love.
Look at Shorty, our guy on here. Shorty owes me a lunch. We had a bet a while ago. I'm not sure he remembers, but he owes me a lunch.
Shorty, be a man of your word, Papa. Be a man of your word. He's zell him or cash app him some money for lunch if you can't make it, Papa. You know how it's done. This is 2024. You don't have to take him out to lunch. Like here's your cash. Give me your cash app. Give me your Zelle, and we're good. But I'm excited. You know, again, I'm excited. Like I said, for me, it was never about Caleb not having talent. That was never, ever, that wasn't even a remote possibility. You got to have talent, all right, for him to go where he did. Okay. And I'm looking forward to his leadership. And, you know, there were a lot of things in the that people were putting out about his lack of leadership skills. Talk to me about that, about his leadership skills, because a couple of things that he's done that just really got me excited about being a leader. When he went to find Rome, first of all, him and Rome hanging out, that's cool, whatever. But him going to find Rome after they drafted him, remember you saw it on social media where he's like, where is he at? He's like, no, he's in here. And he screams out, Rome Odunze. You see Rome get all fired up that Caleb came to talk to him and now they're teammates. Then yesterday they were over at the Chicago Sky game, which I thought was really, 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 really cool. Here's a picture of that. You know, I guess I took a picture at the wrong time because they were smiling and laughing and having a good time. Here they look all mad and shit like the Sky were ever in doubt of losing it. But like stuff like that. Talk to me about Caleb's leadership, what you see from him as a leader.
Yeah, that was the big question, of course, leading up to the draft. I mean, part of that was fueled by fans of Justin Fields, obviously, you know, fans of what the current roster looked like. And that's understandable. But then there was also some other stuff because, look, Caleb Williams is a different cat, right? I mean, he's kind of he's a millionaire coming into the league. He's the first NIL guy. He's already doing national commercials. You know, Dr. Pepper. He's a big star already, right? He's in LA. You know, so there was some stuff out there. People kind of thought they may have heard from someone, and that spread, and it was unfortunate. But that's the day we live in. That's social media. You know, I heard some of the same things that some guys heard. But let's wait and see what happens. And as we're seeing now, you know, the Bears vetted him, his leadership, his stuff in the locker room. You know, he is who he is. You know, he is a driven man that wants to be a great football player, and he's been doing this since he was in middle school. You know, this is who he is. You know, he may rub some people the wrong way. They may see it as arrogance, but you know, all the greats have that. You know, there is no great elite athlete that doesn't have a level of arrogance about them, a level of confidence about them. That's kind of what you need to kind of push yourself to the next level. So yeah, he's
people going to hate him. Are they going to hate him like we hated that jerk up north? Because we hated number 12. We hated that son of a biscuit. Is this guy going to be hated by other? Please tell me he's going to be hated, because once people start hating him and calling him all kinds of names and he sucks and and having all these nasty things to say about him, then you know we got a pretty damn good quarterback.
There you go. Yeah, if he can do what Aaron Rodgers did, if he could be our version of that, where Packers fans hate him, Lions fans hate him, then he's winning championships, and that's what we want.
I hope so. And he's a little quirky. He's definitely not your stereotypical Chicago Midwest quarterback. All right, he's quirky, and we have to get used to that. It'll be a lot easier. You start winning games, and if he does that, he will win this city over.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, though? How soon? Okay, how soon do you think he's able? They take off the training wheels for him, because, all right, you're a rookie. You have a whole bunch of talent. All right, I think they're gonna. And the conversation needs to be had. All right, Eberflus to Waldron to Caleb. Like, this year, we're going to win with you. Next year, we're going to win because of you.
Yeah.
By that, I mean, you're going to hand the ball off. I'm going to have a short, intermediate game. I need that tight, where you can do those things with your eyes closed. How soon before you think he gets the concept of the speed of the game, the concept of the game, and what Waldron's doing? And how soon do you think, because don't forget, he's already been implemented, they've implemented some of the schemes because of his quarterback coach is good friends with Waldron. Okay. They're going to get extra time because they're in the Hall of Fame game. So they're going to have more time earlier. Do you see this year as a point where, I don't know, maybe week 12, 13, 14, where the training wheels come off and like, boom, you can throw it 30 times a game. You know, if it calls for it. Do you see them being able to do that this year?
Yeah, I think at some point it'll just click. I mean, it does with all rookies. You know, that at some point, this, like you said, the speed of the game is a big thing for these guys. At some point, they'll understand things a little better. It's a different game. I mean, the coverage is different. They'll attack him different ways. You know, he's coming from a different offense. Obviously, the air raid has different concepts, different schemes that they kind of work within the framework of what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Some of it translates to the NFL level. We've seen other quarterbacks throughout the league kind of do that. But yeah, I mean, the fact, like you said, that he's been working in similar concepts because of the Shane Waldron connection, the connection to the Shanahan style offense, the McVay offense. He knows it. I mean, he's been working on it. He's been working on it every offseason with his quarterback trainer. So he's going to come into this with an understanding of already what's expected of him. But I think you put it great, man. This year, they're going to win with him, and then as again, it'll click. When it clicks, now they'll win because of him. And the talent's here, man. I mean, this is the most talented Bears team that I can recall. I'm pretty old, so I can't remember a Bears team this talented since I'm going back to the 80s. I mean, that's
really.
I mean.
You're overlooking the 10, 11, 12, and 13 with Cuddy, Forte, and you still had Urlacher, Briggs.
I mean, those were
Urlacher, Briggs were for the end.
Those are pretty talented teams, but I'm talking just like the sheer number, especially on offense. I mean, the weapons. I mean, Gerald Everett, you know, he's a viable move tight end. Cole Kmet is a viable wide tight end. You have 3 receivers. You have a couple tailbacks that can do it for you. You know, the O-line, we got to see how they come together. That's the big question mark a lot of fans have. But on paper, man, this offense has weapons. This offense is going to be something that defenses have to cover every inch of grass. I mean, you mentioned Rome Odunze, right? Very talented prospect. He's going to be facing the 3rd best corner sometimes. I mean, that's ridiculous. At best,
that's with no one being injured on the defense, because then you're going into 4th or 5th best cornerback, and you're putting him on that joker on the 4th or 5th.
The weapons are ridiculous. It's going to be, I can't wait to see it come together. I can't wait for training camp to see how these things all work here. Again, it all hinges on Caleb becoming that dude. But, you know, people that are way smarter than me think he is. So I'm pretty confident that he's going to be that guy at some point.
Talk to me about Shane Waldron. I've said repeatedly, once he was hired, I said that is the most important acquisition this offseason. It didn't matter if I was a big Justin Fields guy, but Justin Fields or Caleb, it didn't matter who it was. To me, the biggest acquisition was going to be Shane Waldron. How do you feel about Shane Waldron leading this offense with this electric rookie, with a lot of talent, with a lot of expectations? Talk to me about how you feel about Shane Waldron running the show offensively.
Yeah, that's the key, man. I mean, this guy has done it. You know, he's been a play caller for 3 years. You know, this is the scheme that Matt Eberflus wanted, right? This is what he wanted to do immediately. So it was like he's finally getting it. He thought he had it in Getsy. For whatever reason, the Getsy experience wasn't the best. You know, it just didn't work out as far as what Flus thought he was going to get. But now he's got a guy. He's doing the exact scheme that he wants. He's going to be able to have it work for him. And we look at his history throughout the last 3 years in Seattle, right? He's kind of changed what he does each year. There's a lot of talk about, he loves the 3 tight end set. Well, yeah, last year, because that's the talent he had.
He had, exactly.
You know what I mean? The previous year, he had something different. His first year calling plays, he really leaned on the running game with Kenneth Walker. You know, he had like the bulk of the carries, the bulk of the touches. That's what he had. He will evolve his offense around what he has. And in Chicago, he can run 2 tight end sets. He can run 3 receiver sets. He can go empty with Everett split out wide. You know, he can run a stuff with 2 tailbacks. He can do a lot of things. And right now there's still a fullback on the roster. Who knows if that'll stay the same. So he has options to kind of run what he wants. So instead of what we're used to as Bears fans, the offensive coordinator kind of reacts to what the defense is doing. Now, Shane Waldron's going to be setting the tone. He's going to do what he wants to do based on your personnel. He's going to attack you and make you adjust to him. And I think that's a great thing for Caleb Williams.
I do too. And I think the more you run the ball, the more you just hit, and I said it a few minutes ago, hit that short to intermediate game. Give me slants, give me hitches, give me curls, give me 5 and outs, give me quick outs, give me maybe dig, but the more efficient you get with that, and the more times we smack him in the mouth, it is going to open up so much for Caleb. And don't get me wrong, they're going to take their shots down deep, but it's just not going to be the greatest show on turf yet. yet. All right, definitely not till next year, at least next year. But my thing is with him is just get comfortable in, you know what, get comfortable in the journey. Get comfortable in the basics. If you can master the basics, and that's handing the ball, that's slants, that's hitches, that's those crossing routes, those little intermediate things, it opens up. And if he's cool with that, and I asked his head coach, who's actually one of my best friends from college. I had him on last week, the day after the draft. He was still out in Detroit. And he was saying, Caleb, we asked him to throw the ball 40 times one game. He said in other games he threw it under 15. He said, and he didn't care. He just wanted to win. And it echoed what Caleb said. He's like, someone asked him, and he's like, I'm not here to wow you. I'm here to win games. And that meant when he said that, I'm like, all right, kid, you get it. Because he sounds like a little bit of a politician, but even if it was political talk, that's exactly what you want to hear. Like, I'm not here to wow. I don't need to throw for 500 yards. If I get 175 and we get the dub, guess what? We get the dub. And that's the most important thing. I like his mindset. Do you have any qualms or any concerns about him handling the media, handling Chicago? Because he's coming from a big place. Because in LA, I know LA is the second largest market, but he was really not in the limelight. You didn't see him on red carpets. You didn't see him at parties. You never heard about anything about Caleb Williams except his beautiful ass apartment that he had overlooking LA. It's the only thing you heard about and saw. Do you think you'll have any problems handling this big market?
I'm sure there'll be an adjustment period. That's probably one of the reasons why the Bears hired, I forget his name off the top of my head, but they hired that guy from the Chiefs, kind of came over. He was part of their PR, the PR machine in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
He understood what happened when you had a star quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. So bringing him in kind of help Caleb out a little bit, and he wasn't really in the limelight a lot out there in USC, but people knew who he was. Like I said, he did the media stuff. He did some stuff with NIL. He has been training for this day his whole life. I mean, he's been in the spotlight to an extent because he was a top quarterback prospect. He was one of the first guys really to evolve in this NIL era. So he's kind of been out there at the forefront. USC, I mean, it's LA. I mean, people know him in LA. I mean, there was some talk about some of the places he goes to. Like, I think it was one of the articles where he's at a place having dinner and there's celebrities all around him. He's comfortable in his own skin. He's comfortable in that setting. And the Chicago media can be tough. I mean, it happens. There's going to be some times where they kind of go at him, but he seems like he's kind of the guy that kind of would just let the kind of go roll off his shoulders, be like, it is what it is. Like I said, he's here to win games. He understands the process it's going to take. So I'm not too concerned about it because, like we've seen, he is who he is. I mean, that's what we're getting. We're getting Caleb Williams uncut, and we didn't know much about him leading up to the process. But as we've seen him interact at the combine, at all the one-on-one interviews, that you mentioned the podcast in his apartment, that was outstanding. Kind of really him uncut, unfiltered. Just getting to know his personality a little bit. I don't think it's gonna be a problem.
Well, I hope not, and I don't think it will either. Especially talking to my guy Randy, his head coach, and he's just. The things he had to say about, and I get it, it's your guy that you coach, but still there's certain things like you don't say these things like if you're not there. Like you won't make stuff up. You just, if it's not there, you won't say it. Yeah, you just won't say it. And the things that he said were just great, and I loved it. What do you think the offense needs, if anything?
The O-line, I mean, that's still kind of a question mark. I mean, yeah, they made some pickups.
Are you good with the center position?
I don't know, man. I mean, I like the Ryan Bates decision a couple years ago, and then it fell through. So I was fine with it bringing him in, but he didn't play a lot. He hasn't played a ton of center, so maybe the other guy wins the job, Shelton. I'm not sure. I want to see how it plays out, but I think that's better than what they had last year. I mean, these guys are better than the Lucas Patricks, Cody Whitehair, kind of towards the end of his career. They're better than that. I still got to see how the depth comes together. Tevinjenkins had some injury issues throughout his career. Hopefully those are behind him. Braxton Jones has to keep ascending, become a good left tackle. But overall, the O-line's in a better place than they were a year ago.
I think so too. I'm looking at it like this. I hope Nate doesn't have, knock on wood, doesn't have another family situation like he had last year, because that's stunted the chemistry, the development of the chemistry.
For sure, yeah.
So because that old line that they had slated for week 1. They didn't play together for the first time until week 9, 10, somewhere in there. I mean, and that's a long way. And isn't that funny that they finished up with like a 5-2, 6-2 record at that particular point? Interesting. Not that maybe O-line's kind of important. I don't know. Who knows? But so now hopefully you have those guys there. Nate Davis being healthy. All right. We know what Darnell Wright's going to do. Darnell Wright is just a monster, dude. He's such a nice dude. I'm in the locker room and talking to him like he's the nicest guy, man. I'm like, dude, do you realize like you put that dude in the third row? Like, I love it. Tevinjenkins, if he can stay healthy, he is another monster that you have to like. All right, dude, not the third row, just the sideline, right? Yeah. But I'd rather be able to reel him back than try and amp him up. And I think your assessment with Jones is huge. If he can continue to ascend, if he can take another step forward, because I think he had big strides from year 1 to last year. All right, he was able to anchor better, not perfectly, not great, but better on that bull rush. If he can get stronger and become even better anchoring, you don't need a gold jacket left tackle to have a great offense.
Yeah.
My projection for him, his ceiling, and it could be wrong, it could be higher, but for me, it's an above average left tackle. And you can win a hell of a lot of games in the NFL with an above average left tackle. And I think he's ascending to get there. Hopefully he gets there this year, because if he does, that old line, and you mentioned the center part. Dude, the quarterback's not gonna have to field it off the ground or jump up to grab it. It's that was just god awful last year. How many times Justin had to, damn near take a knee and scoop it up like a ground ball. It's like ridiculous with those dudes. So I'm super excited about the offense and what they're gonna do. But talk to me about that defense. What does it need? How excited are you about this defense? I mean, we're excited about the offense, as we should be, but that defense was the best defense in the NFL for the last 6 weeks.
It's funny, we talk about a new era in Chicago. We talked damn near half an hour, didn't mention the defense once.
Not once.
Man. So, yeah, no, I think the defense is a good chance to be pretty good. Again, obviously, we got to see how edge comes together. There's some rumblings online, obviously, about Yannick Ngakoue possibly coming back, and I'd be fine with that. I've been talking about that for months. He was fine in Chicago. I say fine, which is, he wasn't special. He wasn't, he didn't get his customary 8, 9, 10 sacks like he usually does. He had an adjustment period to make.
So is he overcorrect and get 12 this year?
I mean, that'd be great. I think he's an option, because right now, I mean, you need some more depth there. I love the Austin Booker pick in the 5th round. I thought that was fantastic. But again, he's 240. He's got to put on some weight, some size. He has to learn the pro game a little bit. But I think as a situational, occasional pass rusher,
dude, one-trick pony. Dude, that's what I was saying, Lester. Like, give me a one-trick pony. Like, listen, kid, that's not your whole thing. You got to develop and you got to grow. But right now, I need you in second long, third long. Do not stop at the running back. Do not go pass. Do not collect $200. Get to the quarterback.
Yeah.
And dude, one of the things I love is his little dip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. He gets up there and dip that shoulder. And so many times on film, I watched the offensive line went to shove him, like, whoop, miss, drop, oh shit, sack, gone. I agree. When you mentioned Booker, dude, that got me so excited, because he's at 240. He can get to 250, 260, 255-ish, in a couple seasons, and still remain that. And he may not even be the full-time defensive end, but if you got that guy who's a specialist, that Mark Anderson dude that I mentioned for the last few months, man, he only had 10 sacks his rookie year. Don't even get me excited and get me close to this guy. Get close to 10 sacks? Come on, man.
Well, plus he's so young. He's a redshirt sophomore. A lot of people said if he would have stayed in school, he would have been possibly a top 50 pick, which is fine. So the Bears say, you know what? Let's go ahead and use next year's draft pick. Get this prospect in here early. Get him started in a pro weight room, a pro nutrition program. Let's build his body up. Let's start coaching him. And the Bears have some pretty good D-line coaches.
I was just about to say, dude, we are here.
We're here, man. I'm excited for Booker. I'm also a fan of DeMarcus Walker. I think DeMarcus Walker's a pretty good football player. But you want some more juice. You have to have juice off the edge. You have to get after the quarterback. So I think an edge at some point will be added, because I'm not sure that the depth is great, because you're going to go 4 deep at D tackle and D end. The rotation is going to happen, so you got to do there. But the back end is good. I love the pickup of Kevin Byard. I think he's a good safety. I liked Eddie Jackson. I think he was fine. I think Byard is a more complete player, so I think they'll be fine there. Brisker is young and ascending. Gordon young and ascending. Jalen Johnson is one of the best corners in the game. Tyree Stevenson is young and ascending. You know, the TJ Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds. You know, I mean, this is a good defense, and the sky's the limit.
It really is. Where do you put this defense currently? Playoff defense, Super Bowl defense?
Yeah, I think they're definitely a playoff caliber. I mean, we look at how they finished last year. I mean, the sacks have to pick up. You got to find someone else, like I said, to get to after the quarterback. But you know, Montez Sweat, you know, he makes a big difference on that front. You know, if Gervon Dexter takes a step, and I believe he can, because you know he was learning a whole new scheme. He learned a whole new way to play football from Florida to Chicago. You know, and then we saw him, you know, last year gain the trust of the coaching staff, where he was playing edge. He was playing defensive end, you know, at times. You know, he was all over that line. So the Bears obviously believe there's some good upsides there. Otherwise, they would not have let him kind of float around the defensive line like they did. So I'm excited with Dexter. I think Pickens will be fine. Billings is a bowling ball in the middle. I love watching him play just because he's just so short, stout, and strong. You know, so yeah, I think it's definitely a playoff defense. If things come together, I'm not talking championship yet, but man, I mean, this is the kind of unit you want if you're going to take it to the next level.
Guys, we're joined by Lester Wilfong Jr. He's the head honcho, the EIC, that's editor-in-chief over at Windy City Gridiron. We're talking Bears football with me here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. You know, one of the things you mentioned, you glossed over it, but I want to go back to it. And you talked about the D-line coach. Talk to me about Coach Washington. Coach Washington is one of the most respected defensive line coaches in the NFL. He is shown to be able to maximize the skill set of his players. Talk to me on how, and kind of going to retrace your steps, but talk to me about the Zach Pickens, how it's going to affect him, even the Gervon Dexters, even the Bookers, even the DeMarcus Walkers, how it's going to affect those guys dealing with a coach who has a reputation for bringing the best out of his defensive linemen in Washington.
You mentioned Washington, he's the D corner, but he's there because he's great with the D line. But they also have Travis. What's the D line's coach name? Travis. Why is his name escaping me right now? But the real D line coach, he's worked with Max Crosby. We've heard some Austin Booker to Max Crosby comparisons. You know, he's also known for bringing the best out of young defensive linemen. So between those two guys, you know, Zach Pickens taking another step, Dexter taking another step. You know, maybe there's something in Dominique Robinson. Maybe Eric Washington coming over is the key to unlock what Dominique Robinson has. You know, we talk about a raw athlete, you know, 6'5", a little thin. This will now be his third year in the league. You know, maybe they can get something out of him too. So bringing up that D line, you know, working on the talent you have is great, but we got to see it come to fruition.
What was the guy's name that you can remember? The
defensive line coach. Why is his name escaping me? I figured you'd find it before me.
Yeah, I'm trying. I couldn't remember his first name. His senior
Travis Smith.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean he's been with the Raiders. I mean he's a long time D-line guy. He's got, you know, again, he worked with Max Crosby. And, you know, Max Crosby was a raw athlete coming out of college. You know, I've seen some analysts comp, you know, Booker to Crosby because of the body type.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if he can even come anywhere close to a Max Crosby level of impact, that'll be a big thing for the Bears, getting him in the 5th round.
So before we let you go, man, talk to me. Where do you see this? Where do you see this offense? I got 2 more questions for you. Where do you see this offense? Because, man, look at this. This is the NFC North is kind of stacked there. Where do you see this offense in regards to in the division and in the conference?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at on paper, like I said, I mean, we got to see come together. But on paper, this is definitely a playoff caliber offense. You know, I mean, the weapons are all over the place. Shane Waldron would have mismatches wherever he wants it. He'll move his pieces around the field to kind of find, you know, the best advantage for his unit. So yeah, I think it's definitely a playoff offense, playoff defense. Now, can Matt Eberflus, can he get there? Can he get this squad there? You know, that's the key, because, you know, he had some issues last year with some late game management, being a little conservative, you know. But look, we talk about players developing, coaches develop too, man. So
yep,
we got to see what Coach Flus does. You know, the Ryan Poles believes in him. His players believe in him. Let's take the next step as a leader now, and Coach Flus, and let's get this team to the next level.
Man, I'm excited. So last question before we let you go. Give me a record. 7 wins, 8 wins, 10 wins, 13 wins, 16 wins. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I said playoff for sure, so I got to go. I mean, we haven't seen the schedule yet, but I mean, if these guys are definitely going to push for a wild card spot, I'm going to go a little conservative, and I'll say 9 and 8 right now. Which in the NFC, that's a playoff team probably as a wild card.
Okay, I had minimum 10 because I said they should have won 9 to 10 games last
I'm
year.
trying to dial it back a touch because it's still May. You know, by the time camp runs around, maybe it's 17-0, my friend. Let's go get your Polish sausage. We're ready to roll.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Lester. Great stuff, man. I appreciate your time. Do me a favor though, let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
Everything I write is on Windy City Gridiron. Our podcast and video stuff is on Second City Gridiron. And we actually just signed a contract for our podcast this week. So we should have a big announcement coming soon about our podcast.
Oh, dude, awesome. Great stuff. Dude, I appreciate it, man. Good talking to you as always, man. We'll be in touch.
Sounds good. Anytime.
Thanks. Guys, that's Lester Wilfong Jr. from Windy City Gridiron talking Bears football with me, and I'm excited about it. You know, there's a lot to get excited about. I'm looking forward to the schedule release. It's scheduled to be to drop next week, a week from today. So looking forward to that. It's going to be exciting. Here's why. You know who you kind of you look at the schedule and you have an idea based off of last year's record, which is an indication, not a guarantee, but an indication. So you're going to see if you have an easier part of the schedule early, or if you have to go through the gauntlet initially. You know, you're going to see, depending on what they do. They meaning the NFL, depending on how they schedule this season. That's a huge part. That's a huge part because if you give me the Commanders early, give me do we have the Falcons? Let me see. Give me some teams early, some teams that might not be as strong. All right, give me some of those teams early. All right, we'll get a couple wins. We will get a lot of confidence. And I think that's going to be one of the most important things is the confidence. All right, the confidence of this team. And I'm trying to find it, and here we go. All right, give me the Arizonas. Give me the Washingtons. Give me the Patriots. Give me the Panthers. All right, give me some of those. Give me 2 of those in those first 4 or 5 games. Throw in a decent one, maybe the Jaguars. Okay, maybe throw that one in there as well. They're a little better talent, a step up in talent, but you get a couple of games out of the gate where you get wins, convincing wins that brings confidence. And you're saying trade for Hendrickson would have been a nice move to make. Oh, the kid out of Cincinnati, still not off the table. This staff was hired for development. Won't Poles wait for his coaches to grow talent before moving? What do you mean moving? Richard, what do you mean moving? Like moving off the coaches or him leaving? I'm not sure what you mean by before. You said won't Poles wait for his coaches to grow talent before moving the coaches off? I'm not sure what you mean. Let me know what you mean. But I do agree that they have a lot of good developmental coaches. Shorty 11-6 and a Super Bowl win. So it doesn't really matter. You're just saying Super Bowl win, right, Shorty? I hear you. Flus was out coach last year, worst of the division. That's got to change. Well, yeah, and let's not forget. It's his second year as a head coach. And don't get me wrong, I'm not making excuses for him. I'm saying he does have to get better, but we also have to realize that as a second-year head coach, I mean, the first-year head coach was I mean, what he had to deal with was insane. All right. When you tear down that defense, he's a defensive coordinator, so you're literally attacking his soul. Then last year, you didn't have Montez Sweat. All right, think of all the things that went wrong on the offensive line. I don't care. You can say, well, everybody has. I don't give a shit about everybody else. I care about our Bears. Nate Davis was out to start the season, and tevinjenkins was out to start. So now you're dealing with the meat, the heart of the lineup of the O-line, the interior. Then the center sucked. Like all these factors that people don't want to acknowledge, but yet want to blame players and call players names because they don't perform to the level you want them to perform at. Well, there's other players in front that really need to do their job so other people can do theirs. No one is good at their job when they first start. And in the NFL, every year is different. There's certain things that you can build upon that are linear. Like you see the team, you see them getting better. You see them fundamentally sound. You see the attitude. You see the confidence grow. You see as they add pieces, they get better and better and better. Okay? Please, someone tell me you didn't see the growth of Tyreek Stevenson last year as a rookie? You didn't see that? You didn't see the growth of Gervon Dexter from when he first started to the end of the year? Come on now. I know we want to be cynical and we want to be Bears fans, but let's be honest as well. Yes, Coach Flus was out-coached a lot last year. And those 3 games, yeah. Those 3 games that we lost that we should have won, the Cleveland, what was the other one? Cleveland game, the Denver game, and one other one. Yeah, he was out-coached. But as Lester said, he's got to develop too. He's got to develop too. Yeah, see, Illinois Jones, that doesn't make it. In theory, I see what you're saying, but it doesn't always work that way. All right? You have an easier schedule because they go off of last year's record. Just because someone's bad last year doesn't mean they're going to be bad again this year. You know what I mean? Teams change every year. So if you're playing a last place team, a couple of moves, a couple of injuries could have been the reason they were in last place. All right, a couple of injuries, bad coaching. Hell, we had bad coaching. We were just able to. You get those guys back. You have a couple of draft picks, and all of a sudden you're not an easy target anymore. So when you say easier schedule, I understand what you're saying based on last year's records, but it doesn't always. In reality, it doesn't always play out that way. Yes, they still suck. They still suck. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They still suck. Yeah, is used to playing with a leaky defense and a porous offensive line. Yeah. Last year he did. Okay, moving on before they make trades. Yeah, I think I think so. I think he's definitely gonna want to see development. He'll wait. He'll definitely wait. Okay, I'm glad we cleared that up. Yeah, he'll wait. So yeah, he does. Illinois Jones, you're right. You see what I mean? Like Detroit, he waited till the NFC Championship game to Detroit themselves. You know what I mean? Like, how many times have you heard me say Detroit will Detroit themselves? They're just gonna do it, and they didn't do it all year. When did they decide to do it? NFC Championship game. Grizz, I am not either. There's no team that I'm afraid of. I ain't scared of nobody. Thank you. Yes, Denver, Detroit, and Cleveland. Those are the 3 games we lost. Yeah. First time in a long time I can say I'm not scared of any team and actually believe what I'm saying. Richard Poles has excuse-proofed this team down to the punter. Everybody's at. Shouldn't that be the way it is every year? Like there's no excuses. And there are legitimate reasons last year and the year before that the Bears were as bad as they were. Legitimate. So I hear you, Richard. Yeah, down to the punter. Down to the Mickey Ficky punter. I'm really anxious to see, and I'm not putting the cart before the horse. I just can't make time move faster. Going into 2025 is going to be insane. Going into 2025 is going to be insane. Because no more rookie, no more Caleb as a rookie, no more Roma Dunze as a rookie. Okay, this defense, whoever they get on the left side, whether Booker can fill that hole or DeMarcus Walker and Booker, rotate, they platoon that spot, and then they draft the dude. Billings is still here. Gervondextersr still here. Montez Sweat is still here. Jalen Johnson still here. Tyreek Stevenson still here. The safety still here. Jaquan Brisker still here on his rookie deal. Man, 2025, as you've heard me say, their Super Bowl window opens next year. It opens next year. Their playoff window opens this year. King Booker World. What's up, Papa? I didn't get to say hi to you earlier. Thank you, Papa. I'm sick. He says, I'm so sick of hearing about the Lions. Bears should have swept them last year and the year before. They again escaped one game and beat the injured Bears at the end of the season. Yeah, they should have. And you know what? Listen. Say what you want about Dan Campbell. He's honest. He's honest. And he'll tell you. He's like, he talked about Justin Fields being gone. Like, man, we got to worry about him. I'm glad he's not in the division anymore because he killed the Lions. But he said, man, did you see what they drafted over there? He sees, he understands, he knows. And that's the one, I think that's why his players play for him so well, because he's not going to bullshit you. He's not going to blow smoke up your ass. Oh, they're not that good. No, he's like, they're good. They're good. Respect your opponent. Respect all, fear none. Give them the respect that they deserve and play accordingly. And he'll get on. You know what? I'm sure as a coach, because I know I've done it. When you play a team that's less formidable than you get on your team at practice. Oh my God. Everything in the world. I don't like the way you jog down the field. Get your ass back and do it again. Like you're on them. And I think that's the kind of guy Dan Campbell is, to make sure that they're not overconfident. He keeps it real with those guys, which is why they play the way they play for him. And I think he's concerned about the Bears. I think he should be. Only thing better than a cover sack is a stunt where the quarterback doesn't see and gets just gets destroyed. The quarterback's going, he's about to throw, and he sees the dude. He goes, I'm not going to be able to wind back and throw it. And before this guy hits me, he just grabs the ball and takes it. But I think cover sack will probably be the second thing. I just love when it collapses on a quarterback. Like, shit. I thought I had time. But when he's back there looking like 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds. Oh, here comes the rush. And he's like, dude, somebody get open. I love it. AC, King Book of the World, the Bears will put the rest of the league on notice. Oh, no. The rest of the league is on notice already. They ain't got to do nothing. They don't have to do anything. They're not going to. The rest of the league is on notice. It's not going to happen. It has happened already. And I love it. Richard says a playoff loss that leaves a bad taste in the team's mouth as a prelude to a Super Bowl. Okay. Yeah, I agree. It could be. I agree that it could be. I think that maybe that's what the Bears need because you get so close. Like I said, I could see them get to the divisional round and losing. Or, hey, maybe they maybe they develop. All right, at a rate faster than we expect. Not crazy fast, but just better than we expect. Maybe their development at the end of the year is where they're going to be like week 4 or 5 next year. All right, it just gets pushed up sooner. Okay, maybe it just gets pushed up sooner. And then for some reason they get to the NFC Championship game. I don't think they'll win. You got a chance. You get to that. Remember, I always said, because I always said, I said, after in 25, it's NFC Championship game or bust. Not Super Bowl, just NFC Championship game. Just get there. Once you get there, now anything can happen. Tired of the Jordan Love stroking? Yeah. Yeah. A sack up the middle of no lineman can stop. Yeah, and that's what Billings does. Not that he's a sack artist, but what he does is as he collapses the pocket, it frustrates quarterbacks because they cannot step up. Because when you realize you can't step up, your first thought is, I got to look to the side. I'm feeling the pressure from the side, which is why I want to step up. When I'm feeling, now I got to look and see, how much time do I have? All right? As a quarterback, when you can't step up because you're getting pressure on the outside, you can't step up. Now you say, okay, can I make this throw? How much time do I have? Because you don't want to be in motion and have them so close where they knock the ball out. Okay, but not just that, but man, you throw out, they grab your arm, boom, here comes your shoulder. There's a lot of things that happen that there's self-preservation that goes on there. So the pressure up the middle does a lot psychologically for a quarterback. Because now you can't just step up. You have to see, all right, I can't step up. I got to throw from here. I probably have to fling it, throw it off my back foot and use most of the arm. But how much time do I have with these guys closing in on? The reason I'm stepping up is coming pressure from the outside. Jay Grizz, yes. Yeah, you mean stacking the DB room. Yep. Oh, yeah. Yes, Illinois Jones. Yes, they did, Doctor. Yes, they did. And you're throwing him in. And Lester and I talked about it. He might be 1C. He's going to be on their third best cornerback. And for most teams, they're fortunate if they have 2 good cornerbacks. They're good if they have 1 really good cornerback. Not to mention 2. And then you're going to put a third guy. The distance between the top corner and your slot corner. And make sure it's your first slot corner, not a slot corner that's healthy, or your number 2 corner's out. So your slot's got to go out there, and you bring another guy for the difference between that and the slot corner is night and day. And whoever's in that slot position on whatever play. Remember, I talked about Keenan Allen, 6'5", being able to find soft spots in the zone. Quarterback, one of the quarterback's best friend. You don't believe me? Ask Patrick Mahomes. All right, Kelsey's been finding the soft spot in the zone since Mahomes got here. Or what about DJ Moore? You want to go man? Boom, DJ Moore got you. Or you want to go man and put DJ in the slot, put him in motion? Now you can't check him off the line? Or you want Roma Dunze, 6'3", 6'4", who can run all the routes on the route tree and run by most of your DBs. Oh, did I mention the tight ends as well? I didn't even go there. So yeah, good. I love, you put someone in a slot. Imagine if they're in a zone and you put DJ Moore in a slot, or they're in man, you put DJ Moore in a slot. So many different things you can do. If they're in man, you put DJ Moore in a slot, and the number 1 corner goes to him, and the number 3 corner goes to Roma Dunze on the outside. DJ run up the middle of the field, or run a crossing route. DJ Moore and Roma Dunze, Get a go route or deep comeback. You get a deep comeback, you get a go route. Keenan has a dig, a deep in, 10 to 15 yards and across the field. I am literally making up plays in my head, seeing routes. That's why you see me using my hands. Like DJ Moore, over route. All right, Roma Dunze, go route. Keenan Allen, deep in. Cole Kmet, deep hook. There you go. Running back, swing. Yeah. Good stuff. We didn't even mention tight ends, Jay Grizz. We didn't even mention tight ends. Didn't even mention tight ends. Their nickel or their dime, or their dime corner is going to have to do that. If our offensive coordinator can fix Bayless, should he be? He'll be in consideration for that, Richard. That's for damn sure. If he fixes Bayless. And let's not forget Tyler Scott. Tyler Scott wants a spot on this roster too. Tyler Scott wants a spot on this roster. He wants to contribute. So there's a lot of good things going on so far this year. And I like it. I like it a lot. Well, man, 2 hours, not 3. 2 hours has come and gone. I want to thank my guest, Ron Luce from the On Tap Sportsnet, for coming on talking Black Cubs and Blackhawks with me, mostly Blackhawks. We got some Cubs talk in there with him. Want to thank you for that. I also want to thank my man Lester Wilfong Jr. for coming on talking Bears football with your guy. And he's excited too. He's excited just like we are. And we have every right to be. All right, we have every right to be. This is going to be an exciting season. Rookie minicamp this week, this Friday. I don't know if we got credentials. I'll let you guys know. If I had to, and I have to move back. If I do get credentials for Friday, I'll move the show back until the afternoon at some point. So I would be at Hallis Hall covering them. So we'll see. I'll find out today if we got approved for credentials for rookie minicamp. So yeah. Man, who you telling? In college, Rome was getting the best DB and double coverage every week and still average over 100 a game. Coverage with a second or third DB, game over. You're right. You are right. Yep. That's what we're counting on. You have a blessed day as well. You stop this nonsense right here. You stop that right now. Okay? Just stop. Richard Long. Hey, so listen, I got to go pick up the warden from CrossFit. I said, I want to thank those guys again. Ron Luce from the On Tap Sportsnet coming on talking Cubs and Blackhawks with me, and Lester Wilfong Jr. from Windy City Gridiron talking Bears with me. Guys, you have a phenomenal day. It's hump day. It's going to be, what's the weather? 65, 70? I like that kind of party, baby. I can deal with that. Oh, shit. It's going to be 80 today. Woo! Got to turn the air on. Get out, finish reading this book that probably finish it tomorrow. But get to reading a book that I'm finishing up. Guys, you have a phenomenal day. Do yourself a favor. Do me a favor. Make sure that you make someone smile today. All right? Send a text, a voice memo, okay, to somebody that you haven't talked to in a while. Make sure you say, hey, just thinking about you and the family. Hope all is well. Let's get together soon. All right? Be good to people. There's more than enough hate going around this world. Let's spread some love. So for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, Elliot Baez, our executive producer, Clarence Council III, our social media guy, and a newly married Maya Akai, my co-host in absentia. I'm your boy, the Superback, Shawn Sierra. Sports owners, have a great day. Listen, I'll be on with Nomad on Friday. They took most of the week off. They just were a little tired, and they need time. Sometimes we need, we need time to just recover. So we'll be back on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. So this show will replay tonight at 6. So you can catch it again if you missed it. So for everyone at Sports Zone here at Sports Zone Chicago, guys, I'm your boy, the Superback, Shawn Sierra, and I am out. Have a great day.